What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Dripping Creativity Podcast. I am your host, Chris Corvan, and today we are here with a person that I could have swore I talked to a long time ago, but it turns out I never actually did.
No.
And it was like, what the hell? Because you were part of the roundtable for the Trevor Project's live stream, which was absolutely amazing. And you are such a fantastic and just wonderful individual. We have with us Benjamin Twigg. How are you doing today?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. So you are a writer. Let me pull up my notes here, from Australia, which is a very important thing here. It explains the time difference. And you are known for bringing authentic queer representation and a sense of wonder into your stories. We're going to be talking about everything about all of that, and we'll just see where everything goes. So let's kind of get right into this. When it came to being a writer and the whole creative side of things, where did that kind of start?
I can remember just always as a kid writing all sorts of words. And one word, I don't know why, I just giggle about it now, is that I learned how to spell the word tit. And it just became this big thing about who I am, is I just make jokes about most things. And then just from there, it was just constantly being involved with fantasy, and it's kind of become this like rebellious thing because my grandma hated fantasy, so I was like, well, I'm just going to dive right into it. And I just love the whole whimsy side of the world. In high school, instead of studying for my final exams, I wrote a book. So this is where I am. No longer got a PhD, haven't got a degree or anything, but I'm writing books. That's what matters. So I've continued from there, dipped into adult life, and then now I'm here.
Excellent. So where did kind of like the early inspirations come from? Like what books were you into? Was it movies? Hit me.
Obviously Lord of the Rings is every fantasy person's, and I could talk about that till the cows come home. But for me, it was the Terry Brooks Shannara series, the Elfstones of Shannara. He was obviously inspired by Lord of the Rings himself, so that's where it's like every fantasy author is just owes their world to Tolkien. But I fell in love with that world so much because it had the whimsy and the wonder about it that I was like, I need to write something like it. And when I saw my older brother writing books as well, he wanted to try and write books. He never finished. I needed to. It was kind of like a little competition. I needed to do better than him. I can do better than him. And it was just this always brotherly thing going on. So here I am, almost about to publish, and he hasn't yet. And then from there, it was just any fantasy book I could get my hands on that I really wanted to read, I did, and just adored. Obviously, you kind of go through waves where you read like what everyone or your friends are reading, like the young adult novels, and then you find your own niche of what you love. So now I'm picky, but I'm reading a lot more indies than I ever have been.
That seems to be a very common thing right now with a lot of the writers there, where it's everyone's kind of diving into this new subset of indies, and I think Threads has a lot to do with that. The advent of that kind of circle and collection of people. It's fantastic to see, because you definitely don't. It's not things you would normally pick up and give a chance, and now you are, and you're like, oh shit, this stuff is really good. I really love this stuff.
Yeah, exactly. I would have never have met any of the people I've met if I didn't join Threads. I just joined it on a whim. It didn't start off as being a writing page. I was like, I'll just keep my writing stuff on Instagram, all that kind of stuff. And then I saw a whole bunch of authors joining, and I was like, wait a second. This is a community I can dip my toes into, and then it just come from there. I haven't got like the biggest following, and that's fine. I don't really care about following. I care about making authentic connections.
You have a fantastic following and just very engaging community that you built around you, with a lot of amazing people that are all very supportive of each other, and it's fantastic. I mean, between us we share Sarah, so right there is really all you need.
She is a wealth. I'm going to gush about her now, and she's going to love hearing this. She's a wealth of knowledge and just joy and love in the craft of writing, and just every time I share something with her and she says something with me, it's just this amazing moment that crossing borders of the world. Like, it's just crazy to me that I was able to meet someone like her. I really do owe her a lot for where I am now, because I think she saw the initial version of it and she's been following me for ages. And then we dipped into each other's DMs and became great friends from there. But she's really helped me bring it to where it is now. And if you're listening, I owe you everything.
I'm gonna make sure just to clip that just for her, because I know it'll just drive her mad. She'll hate it so much. All right, well, let's kind of dive right into this book here.
Yes. Shall I show the cover?
I would absolutely.
Because no one like me, I'm always prepared. I have it in a poster
Look at
form.
that. You know what? That's what you got to do. Dad magic right there. It's beautiful. It's such a beautiful cover. Absolutely love it.
It is. Thank you. The cover was done by Midlart. Definitely went straight with them because I saw they were Ukrainian, and at the time it still is. But at the time it was important to me to try and help those who were disenfranchised or going through war or anything else like that, to give them some money and also give back to that community. And they knocked it out.
Definitely.
I gave them like a small brief, and they're like, this is what we suggest, and I'm like, that sounds great, not expecting to see what, but they've got a huge catalog behind them. They're used to this now. And then when they did it, I was like, this is great, but I had went through 3 iterations of what the orc looked like, and I joked that he was once a very thin, sickly orc, and now he is a beefy daddy, which is accurate to the character. So that's what I wanted. But yeah, 3rd time lucky, and then I was very happy with it. From there, obviously that was after I wrote the book. So I did the first version of that 2 years ago now. I started, maybe it was even 3. Started the concept from one of those Reddit prompts that you see everywhere. They're everywhere. And it was about comparing if magic was real, and if it was like dad music, how, dad rock, all that kind of stuff. But what if dads had magic that was like the classic fireball evocation, all that kind of stuff? Oh, you don't do that? I do actual modern, real cool magic. So it was kind of like this twist of like how Gen Z have their slang now with Riz, skibbity and all that kind of stuff versus what other generations speak. And it was just this, my mind just went, the world can just grow from there. It was supposed to be this one-off little novella, as well things are supposed to be something. This little novella about just a light-hearted story between a dad raising a daughter with his own magic and his magic compared to hers, and it became this giant world. I couldn't stop it. It just kept growing each time I started writing. I was like, okay, the dad needs a best friend. Who will he be? He's going to be a half orc who loves fried chicken. Like, it just, and who doesn't like fried chicken? And then I was like, well, if it's going to be in this world, it needs to be a magical fantasy twist. So it's cooked with time magic, and I can't explain it to you because I can't even explain it to myself, but it's cooked in nanoseconds. It can arrive at your door in nanoseconds. It's magic. So that was literally the premise, pretty much, of where the story was like, well, everything can be done with magic. Okay, but now we're living in a modern magic society. Where does it fit in with our own world? I was like, well, phones can exist, but with a different type of magic tech. And it's as you can see, it's just started becoming this bigger, amazing thing that I can't believe it came out of my head, actually.
Well, from everything that I've seen and read about it, I'm very excited to actually dive into the book. But it's very well written, and the world itself is very much fleshed out. Like you've done an amazing job with this. So when it came to kind of getting to that point where you realize you don't want to do a novella anymore, you want to actually do a full thing, did you kind of sit down and define your world? Did you actually have to kind of pinpoint what is allowed, what is not allowed, how far does it go?
I wanted to just be limitless with it and see what happens. It really hinged on the dad and trying to save his daughter, and that's where the tagline is, who says a dad can't save the world? We'll find out, won't we, all in November 28th. and it was about just, I drew a lot from my own life as well. Like, I'm not a father, but I'm a parent, a father, doggy dad, and just the lessons I learned raising my dog from a puppy to who I am now. I was like, let's just kind of, I was very young when I got her, and my main character was also very young when he found her. I try not to give too much away, and you learn that along the way as you read the book, because his memory is a bit just like mine. I think most writers' memories are like all frazzled, but yeah, his memory is a bit like, he's a bit an unreliable narrator, and you have to kind of just go with it. The point that made it go from a novella, remember, it was the first chapter. I was like, okay, he's sitting at his office desk. Who doesn't? Everyone loves sitting there. And something happens, an attack happens to the city. From there, it was going to end as like he becomes the hero of Spelford, the city, and then that was it. And I'm like, but what happens afterwards? There's obviously more that happens in life. Things can change in a month, 6 months, a year. And I'm like, okay, where does it go from there? And then all these other characters started chirping in my ear. Well, I would want this hero in the Major's government, so like, let's bring him in. And I'm like, well, there's a plot point done. Like, it just kept, as I said, I can't really like actually say why it became bigger. It just started, the voices started speaking to me basically. And only writers and creatives get
Very much so. I think there's a large chunk of us that completely understand every aspect of what you're saying right there. So what kind of themes and plot did you really want to kind of put in there for the readers to?
Sure. I think I wanted to tell an authentic queer story, obviously, and one with a character that isn't the typical queer character, which is like, I'll use words that queer people use. You see a lot of Twinkie characters, young adult, and I didn't want to tell that. I'm not that. I used to be that. I'm not that anymore. I'm in my almost mid-30s, and I wanted to tell a character that is in that age bracket, because I think I like to see the not typical in the world being put as, the forefront. I grew up with a dad who was very much like my hero, and I idolized him a lot. So it was like, well, if this is going to be about dad magic, I need to bring that kind of dad that can be idolized. The main character is a good dad, but you get to see it from all the other characters' point of views as well. And you're like, is he really a good dad? You get kind of this kind of question. You're like, oh, maybe he's not, maybe he is. And he starts questioning himself anyway. He's always going to be. I think most fathers do that. That was one of the big things. I wanted to talk about fatherhood and authentic queerness, but then in life everyone has a lot of things they go through, they're grieving, all that kind of stuff, and obviously I won't get too deep into it, but I wanted the character to lose his partner and have to try and find himself, and I didn't know how to go about that for a long time, and then it just dawned on me that I was like, well, off page, that character died, and we'll find out why later on, and I'll figure it out along the way. Excuse me. So then it became this story about fatherhood, queer love, joy, and grief. Great three things to put together. And as someone who's only gone through grief a little bit, like losing a family friend and stuff like that, I have lost pets as well. I had to really, obviously, read up a bit more about dealing with grief. And everyone has a different way of dealing with it, which is awesome. Which helps when you're doing research. Everyone's completely different. And I was like, okay, let's just use some common signs and then try and twist it with this character. And I think it worked well. I'm sure my editor will tell me otherwise. The other thing was just this whole harmony of how magic and tech can work together. And should it work together? And there's this big, you learn through Victoria, the daughter character on the front. You learn about the world because she's in school still, so you learn about the world through her school lessons, and that there's an ethics between modern technology and how, I think it's timely because we're kind of going through that as we are now, like privacy issues and all that kind of stuff with phone tech, that I really wanted to jump that in as well, like the ethics of using technology and magic together. Is it right? Is it wrong? Should they be mixed together? And it's done in a subtle way that it can be, you don't have to, you can focus on it, but put in there. Then I have some disability rep through my three nephew and niece. They're very autistic, unfortunately for them. Oh, maybe not. They got sparkle. They're absolutely lovely too. And I really wanted, one of them's non-verbal, and I really wanted to put that representation in there. So I do that through my two main characters not being able to wrap their lips around magic. So they become these non-verbal mages. So that's the rep there, and I'm going to build upon more and build it into the world so it works well with other things, other different disabilities and stuff like that. So then so like I always want to see a fantasy world where they take it's not just a wheelchair. I want to see them like put fantasy stuff into it, so like, you know, tech that helps them walk and all that kind of stuff, or whatever, magic that helps them walk, and not just magic healing either. So I really wanted to build this world that felt real and lived in, with those themes I just mentioned, as well as there's a lot of racial issues as well, but not in a racist way, but like, okay, the past, there was a war, and then some people still hold some hardships against orcs, typical fantasy trope as they always do, and I like to take those and twist them in a different way. So like, we've got elves in this world, but they've now started making startup companies for beauty makeup and all that kind of stuff. Like, it's just, like I said, it just really started to really become this bigger thing. And the more you think about it, the more, okay, well, I can bring this race into this, and how does it work for this world? And I don't think there was any, like I said, I was very limitless with it. I wanted to make it as whimsical, funny, weird as possible. The only limit I have is myself. So if I can't think of it, it's not going to happen.
You know, it's a solid limit to have. When it came to developing the characters and all of that, this is actually something that I've asked a few. Do you kind of wait for them to enter the story and then figure them out, or do you kind of go, I need this type of character in here, let's develop this for this specific reason?
Sure. So Brent, the main character, fully formed from the get-go. He was a tired old dad working in magic insurance. Done. His best friend came later, like I said, he needed to be there, and he's based on my best friend, who also loves fried chicken. So, sorry. He'll love that. And then, obviously, the daughter character was just kind of like this, I had to have her there as well, and she mirrored the main character. They're very similar, but not. So that was pretty easy. But then when I was developing the love interest, other characters, the villain, that took some time, because initially I wanted the villain to be the main character's mentor, and then it still stayed that way, but then they changed in a different way. They also became a father, so it was like this journey between two opposing sides of fathers dealing with fatherhood together. And then I had to obviously add some characters like the teachers of the school, and if they had all different personalities, then the Victoria's best friends and what happens then her love interest. It was not all of it happened so methodically. Like, I really needed to find a character that fit well with that, and I was like, okay, well, now I have to research some personalities and what's best for this, or do I just kind of keep the characters similar? Like, okay, the main characters also have a friend that's a half-orc as well, and it does seem that way, but it's not done in that way. When you read it, you're like, oh, okay, now I know where this character came from. I don't tend to write a lot of notes. It just, let's see what happens, and write the character, and I'll give him a name, and if it doesn't work, I'll just delete it or put it in the graveyard. Notes for me just actually bog me down, which is, it is what it is. Everyone's got their process. I did have to really work on one character, and that is the main villain and why it came about. I even rewrote the ending after revising the whole book. Like, I cut out half of it and rewrote the whole book. I had to rewrite the ending 8 times because I wasn't very happy with how the villain was, and it was a labor of love. I'm sure that's what they all say. Then with obviously the two fathers going neck and neck, I had to show that they compare the two. Like, is one a better father than the other? And you kind of get this whole line like, well, this man is an amazing dad. I'm not going to say which one, but then you hear it from their child point of view, and you're like, oh, are they? So there's undertones of like things throughout it, and that came about naturally through the revisions. I think that's what most writers, when they revise it, they're like, yep, we got this. Finally, it's the spark.
Well, yeah, and I mean, like that's kind of the whole thing. Like I know a few writers who if they can't lock down the story in a few like 1 or 2 drafts, then they're just like, I don't want to do it. It's I suck. This is horrible. It's like, well, no, because you're still, you're still figuring out what the story is trying to tell you. Like, put it all down, get it all done first. Don't just throw it a word, vomit it out. I don't care how long it is. Just do it. Finish it, start to finish, then go through and go, okay, let's clean this up. So how many revisions did you end up going through?
So I did the first draft in a year, and I remember finishing in October last year. And then I had a month break because that's enough time, and then started reading it, drafting and just editing, and I'm like, I don't like where this is. It's too. The original draft, they went on like a magic adventure across the whole world, and I'm like, no, we're gonna really rein it in and keep it as the city. I'm like, I have this amazing location and this magic metropolis. What am I doing? So I was like, let's just change some locations. And the way I write, I'm always able to cut a chapter and just go, yep, I don't need this, and I can fit in other areas. So thankfully, I'm well prepared, unknowingly. So I think I did the one main revision afterwards of just the story plot, and then because I knew what I wanted to write, I just needed to get the scenes in order and the locations done properly. So a lot of the original stuff lost. Like there's a really wholesome and really cool setting, which I may bring back for another book, and it might be in the second one, so I probably shouldn't say, but whatever. They go to a snowy village, and then they investigate like this tower, and some things happen, and there's just this interaction between 3 of the characters that I just like, okay, so I have the characters down, but this is not where I want it to go, so maybe I can hold on to this. So I took it out, and it's still there somewhere. I think I uploaded it as the draft version for like the Buy My Coffee website for people to read. So it was only the one main revision, I would say, but then throughout it I was struggling, because it was like, where do I go from here? And the original plot's always exploded. I can get it all down and put it down, because I'm more of a pantser than I am a plotter. I can't plot or write it out. Like I said, I don't do notes. It doesn't work well with me, because I don't like seeing paper everywhere, and I don't like having it in on it. It's long story. And so obviously the one revision was great, but then there was a lot of pauses throughout that, and I didn't know if I was going to be at the deadline. But as soon as I set a deadline for myself, it just decided to unravel and just go for it. So I now know I can work well with deadlines. Don't tell my boss. They don't need to know that. So the one main revision, and then so I can remember there's about 3 chapters, except the ending, that it was just like, well, what do I want with this? So I rewrote those chapters 3 times each as well. And then the final one, obviously 8 times, because I just hated it. I have my best friend who is based on the org. He alpha reads a lot for me. So he did the first read chapter by chapter, or the first version, and then was giving feedback and assistance when I needed it. This one he said, I don't want to read it until you finish it. I'm like, oh, but I need the assistance chapter, please. But I actually learned a lot by doing it myself that time as well. Would I ever do that again? Yes, I'm writing a sequel now.
It's all about learning as you go and fine-tuning yourself as much as the story. So kind of the final round-off question to this part is definitely about the queer perspective and the inclusion of that, because there is so many different ways to approach that.
Yes.
What is kind of your overall way of making sure you are representing properly, and how did you go about putting it in?
So, tough one, always, because not every queer person is the same. And I'm not the same like any other queer person. So I was obviously looking at my own life, so I will admit that. It may not, and it's not going to be the same as anyone, so these are my queer perspectives. I like to put in things that I've experienced, whether that be TV shows, movies, books. And I've still got a lot to learn myself, even though I'm a queer person. There's a difference in the world between American queers and Australian queers that they don't always match up, and that is what it is. for me, I try to draw upon also the resources that I have and make sure that I'm not obviously attacking anyone, or just, I'm always going to research. So like in the sequel, I'm writing a non-binary character. I don't have any non-binary friends I'm aware of, I'll say that. They might be and they haven't told me, which is fine. Go ahead, tell me. That I would obviously research about their experience. Some people, like, you find online, you can see about their experiences and you can just draw upon it that way. I always want to make sure that I don't tell too much of a trauma or trigger people with like their writing. That not in the like I trigger straights all the time, but like I meant trigger other queer people. I want to make sure they feel welcome there, and I've made that world that it's completely open. My female main character Victoria, she's completely open, bisexual, proud of it, doesn't care. And even there's a scene I remember writing, the half-orc is like, I know you're bisexual, what are you trying to say? And she's like, oh, I wasn't coming out as bi, I'm coming out that I can transform. Spoiler, she transforms. So it's like completely like pushing aside that no one has to come out anymore, and it's a very happy, lovely world that I would love to live in, and the world that we're striving towards. Obviously, that no one has to really come out anymore, and you just accept it, going, that's my partner, or this is who I am, kind of thing. That's what I wanted to do with Dad Magic. And from there, I wanted to build on throughout and introduce more characters who are obviously of the queer spectrum. I really did set out a specific 3 characters and get them on board, and then bring everyone else amongst them. I think I only wrote 1 straight character. No, 2. The villain and then the other supporting character. But she's more of like the typical old fag hag. Sorry, I'm allowed to say that? That is like just always loved queer people and just always been around them. So it's that kind of vibe. So like I said, I drew upon a lot of things that I've experienced or watched, and then put it in a filter and then through my eyes and then wrote it. I really do want to obviously learn more queer theory as I go along writing, but time, you know, all that stuff. I'll get there.
Well, overall, I'm excited to jump in and you know, see where you took everything. I think one of the biggest questions when it comes down to that, like especially about the queer side of it, is when you are going to publish there, are you focusing on that as kind of part of the promotion, or are you just kind of going, hey, it's in there, and not worrying about it? Because again, like that's another fine edge when it comes to marketing the book there, because you want it to be just normal and naturalized to everyone, because it should be, but at the same time it is also a queer story. You want to promote that. Which way are you going?
So I went the full queer route. Like when Pride Month happened, I gave Pride like promotions to give like discounts off shipping, all that kind of stuff. I am unashamedly gay. Don't care. Whoever hears about it, whatever. I'm not wearing it today, but I have a Pride band on my Apple Watch. I wear it everywhere. I have this gay co-worker, and we're gay at work. Like I say gay at work, we're just catty old men at work. I really wanted to make sure it was like known that this is a queer story. I got criticized on threads about it, and that person deleted the thread, thankfully, that I shouldn't be talking about it as, oh, they're gay, and like pushing that. It just happened to be gay. I'm like, I don't want that. I want it to be known that it's a queer fantasy. Representation matters. I wanted to tell the story that if I saw it as a kid, I would see myself in it one day as an older man and enjoy it. And that's what I wanted to see. And I want someone to pick it up and go, I can feel comfortable in this world. There's no point towing, like I don't want to toe the line. I want to cross that line and make sure people are aware. If someone joins it because they love that theme, great. If they don't want to read it, I don't read books because I don't enjoy them. So I'm not going to be offended. You should read them. Obviously, you should read all those kind of books. But if you don't, oh well.
You know what? That's perfectly said, and I love that approach. I think that is definitely the best way to go, especially with it focusing on showing other queer people that, you know, like this is for you, because then, you know, it's not about the straight people. Fuck them.
Yeah.
So in that context, love it. That's amazing. Solid choice. And you should totally design that shirt that just says gay at work. I think that's prime for a t-shirt.
I'm writing it down now.
It's prime, dude. Like, come on.
I'm gonna have to bring a whole like merch line of gay dad at the insurance.
Legit, it's not a bad idea. You could definitely come up with some good shit for sure. All right, so now we're going to kind of transition here into more of you.
Yep.
Oh yeah, because you have self-proclaimed gamer, Gaymer.
Yes,
for those that are not watching with the closed captioning there. You have spent hundreds of hours in RPGs. How did kind of those character arcs and stories influence which ones really kind of stuck out to you?
Sure. So obviously I'm, like you said, big gamer. I have always been in awe of the Final Fantasy series. I think there's a lot of gamers who love RPGs are. Just obviously the magic of the world, just the wonder, the breadth of it all, that I was just like, wow, one day I want to tell a story like this. I always considered gaming, like those kind of games, my reading time, because there's a lot of narrative in them. For me, those are the pinnacle of gaming at the time when I was a young boy. Sorry, it's so early. My body's like, what are you doing? Why are you up at this early? So from there, I obviously just started to find other RPGs as I went along, and mostly Japanese RPGs, because I just love Japanese culture and their minds and just everything. They don't care as much as I would say an American gaming industry. We're going to make this, and this is what we're doing. And it becomes this amazing, beautiful product. I remember finishing Final Fantasy X when I was 13 or 14 and walking outside and crying for an hour and a half at the ending. And I was like, I want to tell a story this emotional one day. I want people to cry from my writing and what I make. And that is, for me, the joy of gaming, is that I get to involve myself in these stories of these worlds with these characters that they become like best friends. So like when I end the game, I just sit there sometimes and go, what am I going to do now? And then I just pick up another game, obviously. I haven't been gaming this much this year, obviously, because I've been finishing the book, and it's been a weird mix between the two, because I've always just like had a game on the go, and now I've just had games paused, waiting for me to return. So once I finish this, I'm going to have a big gaming break and cannot wait to finish. I've got this one game coming out in October called Metaphor Fantasia by my favorite company now called Atlas, who do the Persona series, which is kind of like this. I think this is where Dan Magic also got some inspiration from, because it's a world where they used phones to go into a different reality. And I'm like, it all just like starts to go, yeah, that's where that's from, that's where that's from, when I start looking at things. Obviously you draw upon everything when you are a writer, your whole world, and I can't gloat about games enough. When I got the Nintendo Switch, I just was like, okay, this is old Game Boy style. Like I was a kid, I was just like, every time I play, I feel like a kid, and that's what I want to do in life. I don't want to be so serious all the time. When I'm at work, and I'm serious mostly, and then when I'm home, it's just me and my partner, and we just play games. We play trading card games. We're building a Lego set at the moment, the Deku Tree from The Legend of Zelda. So I know, it was our anniversary. It was our 15th anniversary. We were like, we're going to get this for ourselves, and we're going to build this together. So it was I'm just a geek. I'm a huge geek and can't help it.
You're literally in the land of geeks right now. You're totally fine. Like all of that is just fantastic. Persona is just such an amazing series overall. Like it has, and I mean Final Fantasy. Hell, I was just talking with Thomas today all about that. That was literally kind of one of his biggest inspirations was the Final Fantasy series. And
reading his book as well, you can see it. I'm like, well, I know where this is from.
That's exactly what he said too. He's like, I'm not saying that's a chocobo in the book, but it's kind of a chocobo in the book.
Definitely.
Yeah, it was just like, you know what, it's fantastic places to pull inspiration from, like not only just from a storytelling perspective, but also a different culture creating a different storyline that is definitely not something that you would have come from any, and North America for sure. I'm assuming Australia. I don't know. I haven't been there, but different mentalities and story influences. Like it's great, and I love it so much. So then let's actually kind of talk about being a full-time worker, a dog dad, coffee addict. How do you kind of find time to write amongst all of that stuff?
I got asked this at work from the fellow gay guy at work with me. He's like, I don't know how you do it. I'm like, I sat there for like 5 minutes just going, I really don't know. 5 minutes is exaggeration. Australians love to exaggerate, just want to let you know that. I like to say we like to hyperbolize everything. I don't know how I did it. I just found the time, and that's so not helpful for anyone who wants to learn how to plan their life. Don't get a dog who will lay there and sleep all day. That helps. Find any moment you can to write. Sometimes at work I write, don't say that to them. I do it on the phone, anywhere I can. Sometimes, because my partner works night shifts, if I had napped throughout that day, if I wasn't a day I was at work, I was able to stay up late and write in peace and quiet, no one bothering me, the dog was asleep next to me. And she's my life. She's absolutely my life. I've had her since puppy. She's 7 years old now. You'll see all over, if you're on my personal Instagram, or if you're on my actual Instagram, my writing one, you'll see her everywhere. She's just everything to me. She is a poodle cross beagle. I have to tell everyone that. She's as stubborn as a beagle and as intelligent as a poodle, and those always switch depending on what she wants. Just constantly a balance between the two.
Like any other child ever, definitely fits. That's for sure.
Yes, she is very much my child, and I've learned so much about patience with having her. I never used to be this patient, whereas now I'm just like, okay, it's fine, everything's fine, as long as not the house isn't on fire, we're good. Working full time I work in government, so I won't obviously get too much into that, because not that it's government secrets. I'm a public officer. I work with like information. Me not going into it, and it goes into it. I work with people's private information, and we just kind of read it and then decide if it goes out or not to the person. Freedom of information is what it's called. That has exposed me to a lot of horrendous stuff, honestly. And that's not just even what the government does, it's just like people's medical conditions. I'm just like, I have seen so many half-cut, rotted feet. I don't want to see it anymore. Honestly, I'm just like, I'm done with this. But no, it's a very rewarding job. Pays well, that's what matters. Pays enough for what I'm doing. And I've been in this current position all of COVID era. I joined 3 months prior before it hit the world, and it has been a really great experience being in this position, because it's helped me to learn how to balance everything as well. So like, I just kind of go with the flow now, and if it happens, it happens. I've learned to not care so much about things, because in my other job, which is still in the same kind of sector, it was very rigid. Like, we need to follow up every day, I was like, I can't do this is not who I am. I'm very carefree. So now where I am, it's just like, well, if it happens, it happens. If it doesn't go out, whatever, we'll get to it, and we'll respond to that when we have to, that kind of thing. So that's helped me become who I am as a writer as well. I do say writing for government has ruined my creativity writing, and I had to relearn it, because it's such easy speak for the layperson to understand that I had to go, well, put that aside, that's work, Ben, this is writing, Ben. Now I have to relearn creative writing again. As I said, it was my 15th anniversary with my partner. He's also my life. I have to say that. He is my life. He would hate it if I just said all about my dog and not him.
But would he be surprised?
No.
So really, you're on brand.
Telling the truth.
You're on brand.
Exactly. I always say I love her more. Sorry. And I do. She's obviously only here for a shorter time, so I actually have to love her more. But yeah, he's a love of my life as well, and he helps me inspire for men I want to write, obviously. Met him when we were 18, 19, when we set up a date, and we actually accidentally met on the train together. We didn't mean to. So it's been like this like romantic love story from the get-go, and I love him very much. I hope he listens. He will. I'll force him. It is really hard balancing a personal life, a writing life, a dog parent life, and then trying to also play games. Like I said, I had to drop something. It was either sleep or gaming, and I kind of dropped both of those. So that's why I'm very. Now I've come down from the one just waiting for my book to be edited, so I've had sleep mostly, not today. My dog woke me up. She wakes me up around this time like every day anyway, so it's like it wasn't really that hard. I'm in this calmest period of my life I've ever felt as well. I don't know what's happened. It's just suddenly a light bulb went off in my head, and I'm like, I'm calm about the book release. It's less than 70 days away, and I'm like, the old me would have been like going bonkers when I first wrote the book. Now I'm like, okay, I'm happy with the product. I just need to edit it. I don't care what happens to the story. I've had 100 pre-orders, whatever. It is what it is. Actually, 90. One of them was one pre-order, but 10 copies. But we won't say that. So like, it's this weird, like, I'm very calm at the moment, very happy where it's all going, and I don't know why. I'm not going to question it. I'm just going to roll with it. And if it all comes crumbling down, it does, and then I'll build it back up again, as we all do.
You know what? Fantastic words of wisdom, and that actually kind of brings us to the final thing before we move into the rapid fire, which is any tips for aspiring writers struggle to make time for their craft?
No. Yes, there is one. Whenever you can find it. If it's on the toilet, write it on your phone. Write it down. Never forget to write it down. Always have a pen and paper with you. Write the idea down. I'm not big on notes, like I said, so I use my phone notes app. So I'm not big on physical notes anymore. Get a favorite pen. I don't know, everything you can possibly do that will make you feel good about writing it, do it. I have a favorite notebook, favorite pen. I don't use them as much, but they're just there, like kind of like a sentimental item, like a ritual item that I just need in my life to write. Whether I write with them or not, it's a different story. And write what you want. That's the biggest thing. Write what you want. Don't care about the industry.
Perfect. I absolutely love that. That is some amazing words of wisdom. So now we're going to move into the rapid fire questions here. Get that brain going. Here we go. All right. Start off nice and easy. Coffee or tea?
Coffee.
Good choice. What is the one fantasy world you would live in if you had the choice?
Final Fantasy Spira, Final Fantasy 10.
Solid choice. You know what? That's a very good choice. I love that choice. Give me X2 all day, every day.
Yes.
Describe your writing process in 3 words.
Chaotic. Why? It happened.
Love it.
That's
Love it.
pretty wonderful.
Love it. If your dog could talk, what writing advice do you think they'd give you?
Stop writing and pat me.
Nice. Solid choice. Who is your favorite LGBTQ plus character in any fantasy setting?
Oh, you said rapid fire, and I haven't got one ready.
It never is rapid fire. It's fine.
No. Any fantasy setting? Did you say?
Yeah.
No. The one that calls to me is going to be Fang from Final Fantasy 13.
Solid choice. What is the most unusual source of inspiration you've ever had that come out of something?
I saw a pink shoe on the sidewalk. It was a glittery pink shoe, and I was like, "You're going somewhere with me." And I didn't do it. Obviously, took it with me, but yes, that was one.
What was the last piece of fantasy media that you got into?
I'm playing it right now. It's called The Plucky Squire. It's very me-coded. It's very whimsical. It's mostly for like a kid level, but it's got some dark themes into it. It's a very cute storybook game where the character comes out of the book to real life and try and solve the mystery.
I've never heard of that game. I will have to look that one up.
Very fun.
If you could add one more hour to the day, how would you spend it?
Sleeping.
Solid choice. Can't argue with that one. All right, and then the final, most important, most difficult question I am going to ask you today. Where can people find you and your book?
Sure. So you can find me on Benjamin Twigg Writes for Instagram, Ben_J_Twig on Threads. Those two are separate because I was stupid and made my personal one from my friends. Then I haven't got a website anymore because I've taken it down because I want to rework it all. I haven't got a newsletter yet because I'm lazy. You can find my book on Amazon or through the link on my Instagram, Benjamin Twigg Author Linktree, I believe is what it is. And that's got everything there, including my ARC invitation sign up, as well as the Goodreads. It's on Goodreads as well.
Absolutely excellent. So this is going to wrap up the main episode, but Ben, you're not going anywhere because we're going to chat again for Off the Record. As for everyone else that has been listening, thank you so much. Make sure to follow Ben and pick up absolutely his book. That didn't make any sense at all. Fuck it, we're just going to roll with it. Make sure to pick up the damn book, Dad Magic. It's coming out November 30th, 28th? 28th. I knew it was in there somewhere, and we are all very excited for that. Thank you again, Ben, so much for being here. And if you are not part of the Creative Coffee Cafe community or the Patreon member, this is where it's going to end. So for all of you, thank you so much for being here. My name is Chris Corvan. You can find me everywhere at Chris of the Void. This has been the Dripping Creativity Podcast. Remember, stay creative, stay inspired, and until next time, see ya. And now we're off the record.
Yes.
That's it.
Awesome.
Now we're just going to chat. That was an amazing conversation, my friend.
Thank you. I'm a bit hectic.
You know what? You kind of fit in with like everyone else, so you're perfectly fine.
Good. I think that's just a common theme. If you're not creative, you're not going to be hectic. If you're hectic, you're going to be creative. It's just...
Every now and then I'll meet someone that isn't following that same kind of, normal like ADHD based creative brain style, and I'm just like, how do you create? I don't understand.
I don't, and that well too. I don't get those people. It's just like a puppy where it just gets distracted.
I mean, that's very much like most of us anyway, so you're totally fine. If you had to give up either writing or coffee for an entire month, which would you choose?
Coffee, because I've already done it, so I know how to deal with it.
just the seething disappointment of even saying that right there.
Yes. Oh, it was the worst 9 days of my life. I don't think I could actually give up coffee, honestly. I think because I've already given up writing, but I didn't write for 6 years. I think I could deal with not writing more than I can with coffee. Coffee wakes me up in the morning. Coffee is, I drink it and I quote Karen from Will and Grace. I'm like, why you said that to me? Every time.
Coffee is love, coffee is life, my friend.
It is.
So let's kind of look past Dad Magic here, and you had mentioned other things. Like, what else do you have coming up?
So I have the sequel, which I think now is the greatest time to mention the title that will eventually get revealed on Instagram. It's called Scarlet Rex, which obviously means Red King, but I'm kind of like with Dad Magic, twisting it to make people think it's one thing and not the other, and then you find out what it is in the end. So that's book 2 of the saga, and I'm not sure if I'm splitting it into 2 books itself because I'm not sure how big it's going to be yet, naturally. And I'm also writing this other book in the world, because Dad Magic has now taken over, like I said, this now massive world called Of Cheese and Magic, and it's about cuisine wizards.
I'm sold already, man. I'm sold already.
I know. I'm so annoyed I made that one over Dad Magic, and I should have waited, got Dad Magic out, and then mentioned it. It's obviously going to be a gay love story, romantasy, but it's this tagline of one wizard's curse is another wizard's cure kind of thing. So I already have the ending in mind, and I really can't wait to finish it. It's just now finding the time to write it. Set in a forever autumn village that is just filled with, like, I equate it to Coquelin, the book, but with other patisseries and all that kind of stuff in a gay aspect with magic.
In a gay, magical way.
Yes,
I love
exactly.
it. I love it.
Yes. Rainbow sparkles.
I'm still there. I can already tell. I can hear Sarah already screaming and raving about it. So
She's read some of it already, and she's like, "Well, one, your writing has grown, so there's that." And I'm like, "Well, thank you, I've tried," and she loves the characters already. And someone is like vying to edit it, and I'm like, "You've only read one chapter. Calm down. It may not happen."
it has to happen now, unfortunately, because
does.
you told me about it, and I'm excited. So
Exactly. And I've been researching all sorts of ways to have different ways of cheese and everything. So the cheesecakes, cheese in coffee, all sorts. Like, I'm just like, okay, well, it's happening, and I love cheese anyway. So
cheese, you know what? As a lactose intolerant person, cheese is amazing.
I didn't inherit that from my dad. It is amazing because you can't have it.
Oh no! I shouldn't have it. I have it quite a lot. That's the problem.
Yes, exactly. I think that's a common theme amongst most intolerant people is that I'm going to use it. I'm going to eat it, and I don't care what it does to my body.
You know what? I got a big bottle of lactose pills that just help a little bit. So screw it, man. Damn right, I make lasagna. Well, now I actually make a completely dairy-free lasagna that tastes even better than the normal version. So
when I was vegan for a while, because I went off being vegan just because health didn't actually agree with it, we used to make a lot of vegan everything, and I have to admit, their food was tasty. It was so good.
Done right, you don't even realize that you're not having meat. I mean, well, hell, even so, I've been dipping into baking quite a lot lately, and I didn't realize until like a couple weeks ago that the buns that I make are completely vegan free. Like they're completely vegan buns, and I was like, how did I do that? I wasn't even expecting to do. It's like, oh yeah, shit, no, there's no butter, there's no eggs, and they're delicious. Like my son raves about these buns. He's like, they are amazing, keep making them.
Yes,
that's right.
I used to make fluffy vegan pancakes, and better than the ones I make now.
Oh, for sure.
But my parents have chickens, and I love using eggs. So
man,
there we are.
Eggs are nature's perfect food. I don't
They
care.
are.
They can do so much. There's so much you can do with eggs.
It's so much, and we've been boiling them and having them for lunch every day, which is probably not good for my stomach. But
you know what? Egg salad sandwiches. I'll do up a thing and just have that for a week. Just binge on eggs for a while, and then I'm good for a bit. But eggs are amazing. I don't give a shit. Come at me.
Yep. Thankfully, it's on Patreon.
You know what? This is true. It's paywalled. Like 6 people are gonna see this. Fuck yeah.
Hi, 6 people.
It was kind of one of those things that I wanted to give something to the actual Discord community. Did I bring you in? Are you in there yet?
Probably not. That's okay, because I need to carve that down, so I'll talk to you about when you can have me. Because I have too many of these other groups. I'm like, why am I still in this one?
Well,
this is years ago.
That's kind of the best part about this one is like there's no requirements. You can lurk, you can not do it. It doesn't matter. But it's more just one of those things that I wanted to give them a little something extra that they can see for free, and then that Patreon can pay for, because then it gives extra thing for that. And then it's special.
You've got to hustle and make a living somewhere.
Well, it's not even about. It's like there are so many things that I want to do with the whole thing that I can't. I'm not rich. Like everything that has been going on has put me in the red with everything, and it's I feel you. It's like
indie authing is literally that. I've been in the. If I didn't have this is why I'm glad it's on Patreon to mention it. But I didn't have my father-in-law, who wouldn't speak to anymore, upfront $100,000 towards the book, I wouldn't have been able to get this far.
Oh shit! Yeah, no, that's.
And that's not even like a drop in how much you have to spend, but it's enough to get you a cover and get some stuff along the way and then push you forward. So for me, it really did help a lot. And I've made, I love bragging about myself, I've made double that back. So I've made it back, and then I doubled it from pre-orders. And I think I've been watching this whole thing about pre-orders, like some indie authors get done, and I feel sorry for them, because some of their books look amazing, and they should. And I don't know why people have flocked to mine. I've convinced 100 sales. It's fine. I'm great. I'm not the best marketer, but
well, it's a combination of things you did and the amount of there is a whole thing, and a lot of it has to do with you're awesome. You have a fantastic premise for a book, and it hit the right notes with people's brains more than anything.
I did. So I think so. And what was I going to say? And I've been trying to support as many indie authors as possible. And I think the 6 Patreon listeners should also.
Well, we're definitely going to be pumping it around there as we get close up. As I'm doing with Tom, I want to do, and I just finished doing with Sarah and Natalie there. I want to do a specific book related interview with you. So I'll sign up for the ARC, send me the thing. I'll do a read through of the book, give my review. Yep. I'll do a proper review of it, but also then we'll kind of sit here and do a 10 questions about the book that we can then release 2 weeks before. I'll send you those questions ahead of time so you'll know what we'll be talking about. And then 2 weeks before the book launches, I'll release the video, and that's kind of your marketing kickoff leading up.
That'd be great.
A little something to help for sure. But yeah,
thank you. It does help. I've already told people I'm interviewing today, and I sent a photo of me, like when I set up my Google, just to make sure it all worked. And they're like, "Oh, you're looking great." I'm like, "Yeah, thanks."
Sarah is very excited and jealous that I got both you and Tom today.
Yes, I loved that. That interaction that made my day, because I don't always see the notifications, and I was there for that one. I was like, oh, this is excellent. So I had to throw in a few jokes. Tom and I, oh my god, hopefully he gets to see this part. We talk daily. So does Sarah and I, and I'm in awe of that man's brain.
Oh, yeah.
Just what he creates, and he says the same about me, probably. So whatever. But we're both in awe of each other, and I just absolutely adore him so much. Crazy, kooky man that he is. I'm so glad I got into this community, because my poor partner, who sees me on my phone all the time chatting and giggling. I'm so sorry.
I can totally understand that. Okay, we are going to wrap this up right now. All I need you to do is, for the 6 people watching, just say goodbye.
Goodbye, 6 people. Hope you have a great day.